Hey, good morning. It is Monday, June 16th. We are on day number 2 here now in Malaysia. Cheap bicycle through Malaysia, I guess. well, I mean, that's seems to be how we're rolling. For lack of a better title and lack of a better thing to do, I'm just going to stick with the bicycling. I've kind of grown fond of doing the bicycling. Um, Now, if I can think up of another adventure that'd be worthy of putting on camera, like if I get to Indonesia and I decide that bicycling is one too dangerous and just not worth it, then I might figure out which long river to go rafting or something. I don't know. I want something to be as backup. So if I stop doing the bicycling for any reason, um, then I have something else to fill in that gap. But honestly, I've been thinking about the bicycling. I started probably in the worst place to actually start, which is Vietnam, because of just the congestion of the traffic and the noises, and it's just not the best place. And like I've said on some of my videos when I was actually in Vietnam, is I was warned against actually starting and bicycling through Vietnam. Scooter's probably the better option to do it. So going from Vietnam into like Cambodia was like heaven. It was just like the noise almost immediately stopped. The noise got less and less the farther you got away from Hanoi anyway, but it was always present in all of Vietnam. Instead of applying the brake, they always applied the horn. It's like you wouldn't have to hit the horn so much if you just drove a little safer. But it got to the point where horns were so constant and consistent that they just lose their meaning. It's not like you're not even going to pay attention to a horn if horns are constantly going off all around you. So I don't know. I don't know if that's something that, because it gets so ingrained in your culture that you're honking at everything. Honking at every intersection, honking at everything. The only way to change that is to remove and make illegal horns throughout of all. Make it where no cars can carry horns. That's the only way to stop that. But it's terrible, man. Honestly, that's probably the biggest downfall of Vietnam, because it is so. Vietnam actually, I think, probably is the most affordable, the cheapest when it comes to comparing the pricing of the two things. The two major things are food and shelter. And they got shelter beat hands down all around. They are the cheapest out of all the surrounding countries. The food is comparable. They're just as cheap, if not cheaper, than everywhere else. You can get a bowl of pho for like $1. Have a nice big bowl of noodle soup. And for $1. That's just how it was. So, but the thing is that it's not relaxing at all. But that was just so that was a bad way to start bicycling. But after doing bicycling, Vietnam to Cambodia to Thailand, just finishing up Thailand, which was awesome. It's nice. There's a big benefit of having dedicated bicycle lanes. It's so nice. And now I'm here in Malaysia. I'm to the point where I'm like, it's not. It's actually a pretty awesome form of travel. It's a lot faster than walking long distances, and if I spent a little time and learned how other cyclists and bike packers and people pack their gear on the bicycles, I can see the benefit of actually having a little more quality bicycle. I know I'm the cheap bicycle man, but I can see, having a little bit better derailleurs, where they don't click, 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 click all the time, and, is having a little bit better tires. And I still wouldn't be able to take myself to actually spending $2,000 on a bicycle. Although I have on an electric bicycle, I've spent $1,500 on an electric bicycle, so it's not out of my range. That was actually, it was a $2,000 bicycle, and I got it for like 25% off. So I can see a benefit in spending on better equipment. You're going to get what you pay for. I know that, and I paid cheap, so I'm getting cheap. And but if you were to look at this and say, well, this is going to be my bicycle for the next 2 years, right? And I'm just going to ride it all around the world. Well, yeah, I can definitely see spending the extra money. I mean, you're investing in the next 2 years of your life, where I've already gone, I guess, 4 or 5 months. I think 2 in Vietnam, right? 1 in Cambodia, 2 in Thailand. So I'm going on around close to 5 months, give or take a few days because I didn't stay the full amount. But yeah, I'll have to double check how long I've actually been doing this. So I don't know. I'm really thinking about just how much farther do I want to go on a bicycle, and I don't really see any end to it. I'm really, because my alternative is jumping on and hanging on to the back of trains, right? Which is get me kicked out of countries. If I do that in other countries, there's a great chance that they could tell me to leave their country and never come back, or I could get arrested, and there's a lot of problems in that. The other alternative is just to spend money on tickets, and which is great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with tickets and stuff, but then you're stuck to walking everywhere or renting a scooter and stuff like that. And walking and exploring on foot, you don't get far distances, but that's what I did in Laos and stuff like that. Laos is, I went bus, train, and when I got to the spot, I just hiked around and stuff, but you don't explore longer distances. And I kind of, I've grown fond of bicycling. So that actually leads me to another thing. Do I want to step up and away from my cheap little bicycle and get something more long term? And I might want to think about that, a little more better quality. Also learn to pack bicycles properly, maybe invest in camping gear, stuff like this, and just shoot for traveling, not just Malaysia being my last country, but shoot for just opening up and trying to explore the whole world on bicycle. I don't know. That'll be. I'll make up my mind here in the next 3 months if I want to continue on and try and see the rest of the world on bicycle. And yeah. Anyway, these are thoughts that are going through my head. Like I said, now I've grown. It's one of those things. If I don't do the bicycle, then I want to be exploring the world some other way. Like I said, I've always wanted on the bucket list to do a long river, and Indonesia has one of the longest ones in Sumatra. And it's raftable, so people do raft it. And I think it's 600 kilometers or something like that. I'll have to look it back up. I'll put the name, if I remember, I'll put the name of the actual river down below. But I might do that would be an awesome alternative to the actual bicycling. Invest in, get a little cheap $100 raft with patches already on it, just barely floating, or get a big old bag and put water bottles in it, empty water bottles, something like that. Make my own raft. Make my own raft would be cool. But anyway, guys. I was looking at the map, and this whole northern part of Malaysia seems a little overpriced. Like the room I stayed in last night, after all the taxes and stuff like that, came out to like $15, which is over my budget. But I made the exception because I was coming across the border, and I was like, I want a spot to stay. I want to at least have the address, which was unnecessary. They didn't seem to care too much one way or the other that I was actually entering. And they just shooed me on. Yeah, you're good. Go. Um, so, but it does look like the prices do start dropping to under $10. Like everything up here is average of $10 to $15 on the cheapest, right? Nothing under $10, and nothing, and the next level up is 15 to 20. But to get under the $10 range, I got to be down by Georgetown. So Georgetown is actually 160 kilometers away. So I might break that up. I looked into the camping areas, campgrounds. Some of them are paid for, some of them are free, but they at least tell you where camping is common. So you can go to the areas that the campgrounds are at. You just don't go inside. Go find an area around that area. So those are about 60 kilometers away, I do believe. Let me see this real quick. Yeah, the campgrounds there's a bunch of them together, and they are all about 89 kilometers, excuse me, not 60, 89 kilometers. They're above Georgetown. So I'm going to shoot for that, but then again, I can just always head towards the beach. There's usually always camping along the beach areas. You just have to find the location. Malaysia, just coming into Malaysia, right off the bat, I noticed that it is more open fields and stuff like that, and it doesn't seem like as soon as I got over the border, I was already seeing spots that would be good for camping. So I'm going to get out there and just start pedaling. Going south, I'll be actually on, mostly I'll be just following, let's see which road this is. Sorry, I had to bring up, to look up the names of the street, I had to bring up organic maps. I don't know. Google Maps is just weird sometimes. Sometimes it just doesn't want to tell you the name of the streets at all. So, which seems to be the thing. They want to give a very, very long name of the street, which is just street. It's just number 7. It's like I'm gonna be taking the 7 to get out of here until I hit about Alor Setar. Once I hit there, the 7 will take me right there, and then it breaks up into 3 major roads. I can take the more of the coastal route, which is, let's see, that's the K1. So the K1 is more of the coastal route, and I'll probably go that one. There's the K1, and there's the main freeway, which I'm just going to stay off that altogether. It's the North-South Expressway. I'm going to stay away from that altogether. So, yeah, once I hit the town of Alor Setar, then I'll be cutting in coastal, and I'll just be trying to hug the coast as much as possible. But once I get it right above Georgetown, that's where I have to go back inland a little bit, because there's a major inlet, water inlet right there that comes in. So it becomes like a little bit of a spaghetti bowl there. Yeah, the spaghetti bowl happens right above, or right around Senjai Patani. Anyway, I'll put all the words down below, all the names. But I should already be trying to find a spot to camp. That's probably not going to be till tomorrow. So anyway, guys, I'm going to hit the road and get out there. All right. Okay, official start time is 10:54. I'm actually going to start Strava. Starting ride. But also relive. So I'm actually going to do the same thing I did yesterday. I'm just going to run both of them. It didn't seem like it drained my battery too bad yesterday. So I'm going to continue on with the experiment. And resuming ride. That way I can have the 3D view of Relive and also the detail of Strava on the map. And we're off. It's 1:21, and it looks like a little storm caught up to me, and looks like it just started raining. My backpack's not actually in a plastic bag. Just got its rain fly holding up the straps from going in the spokes here. That's what I'll show you real quick. So I don't have it in a bag. And my rain gear is on the inside of my backpack anyway. So I don't know if this is, it looked like it was just going to be a nice day. So I didn't prepare for any type of rain. So yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and wrap up everything. Said it's only 1:20, and how many kilometers have I made? Looks like I've actually done 27 kilometers. I mean, so not bad. I've kind of been just zoning out. It's been a nice ride. There's been a side road the whole way, so it's like the main road, and then a canal, like a big canal. You saw it on the video. And then a little side road that's only like 1 lane wide that all these scooters use and stuff like that. And then rice fields. So it's actually been really nice. So I guess I'll wrap up everything. Hopefully it doesn't rain all day. I don't mind if I get wet. I just don't want my backpack to get wet. So I'm going to wrap it up. It's 2:47 and it's been raining on me the whole time. I've been stuck on this road, which is nothing. There's nowhere to get off to this either side, either to the left or the right. They're doing some type of construction on this road where it's like you think you get to a side road over this way, but you just can't. It completely ends. Rice fields over on either side. But yeah, it just utterly sucks because it's just been raining on me the whole time. And the cars going by me are just splashing me. Just trucks are splashing me with water. So I decided I'm just going to take off my raincoat. I mean, I'm completely soaked anyway. There's no point in having a raincoat if you're just as wet underneath as you are on top. So yeah, sorry, I'm not going to be able to take out my camera. It's just this road has sucked so far, and it's been going on for a while. Quite some time I've been on this. No way of getting off it. Anyway, that's my bitch. That's my complaint. Sorry, guys. Just, I guess this weather decided to follow me over. Hey, I'm in front of the 7-Eleven. Old habits die hard. I'm in Alor Setar. It's actually 4:41 right now, and I just stopped here. And the rain's eased up a little bit, but yeah, I mean it's eased up. It's not raining anymore. If you look around, it's not raining. See, but I was able to locate a $9 hotel right down the street here, and instead of going to the campground and I'm soaked from it was actually just road work, not being able to get on a side street, and there was really no shoulder. It was just those plastic, like dividers all the way down, and the trucks had no choice because it was just like, it was how the roads were, that the buildup of water there. They had no choice but to slash me. So it wasn't really their fault. It was just, they needed to drive too. They had to drive through it. It just was constantly coming from the side and coming from the top. And I'm like, I know how Baal felt being a storm god. He probably wasn't a storm god by choice. It just the clouds wouldn't leave him alone. But anyway, yeah. So I booked it. It's kind of hard to find anything that was under 15, under even around in the $10 range. Most everything's like $15. Like I said, not until I get to Georgetown, and I can get over to the coast. I was looking at Google Maps and satellite view. There looks like plenty of trees along the coast right there. It didn't look like so much sandy beaches as just tree lines. And I could probably easily find a spot to throw up my hammock, but honestly, I would rather spend the extra little bit of money and get indoors and dry off a little. Have a hot shower, hopefully a hot shower. They didn't have hot water at the spot I was last night. No internet, no hot shower, and still cost me almost $14. So, yeah, taxes are hard to figure out here. Because, the room was $9, but then after taxes and stuff, it was, it came out to almost $13. So, I'm going to have to figure out some type of a trick to, because like I said, I don't really want to go over $10. I mean, I can, but you know, I'd rather camp if it's over $10. But when I'm wet, I'd rather be indoors. So I'm gonna go indoors, guys. I was able to locate it, and it's just right down the street here. And looking at the time, 4:44 right now. Day's pretty well over, and the campgrounds, I wouldn't be even getting there till after dark. The campgrounds are still 45 kilometers away. I mean, I could more or less do that in 2 hours, but I'd be showing up at, I'd be showing up when the sun's pretty well already down, and me with my night vision. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I already booked it, already paid for it. I'm going to go indoors, and yeah, hopefully tomorrow is not as rainy. I know that it's supposed to have been, last week has been pretty nice weather, but I was indoors for the whole time. There was nice weather, and as soon as I get out and start pedaling again, it starts pouring on me. So, hey, that's how these things happen, right? Okay, guys, I'm gonna get to my room. I already booked it. I'm gonna get over there. All right. Yeah, you see those clouds? I'm kind of glad I'm going indoors. It looks like another storm front moving in. And yeah, it's starting to rain a little on me already. So, yeah, for the next 45 kilometers to get to the campground, I would have probably been soaked by the time of getting there. I'm just starting to dry off a little. Get re-wet. That's it in all its glory, the Motel B Garden. Ooh-wee. Not an eye catcher, that's for damn sure. Well, let's go see what's up. Let's see if we can find the front door. It's right next to the dead body. Actually, there's some nice businesses around it though. Maybe this is just the back side. I'll go let's see if there's a front door on the other side. looks like all businesses on this side. Oh, there it is, Bee Garden. Yeah, I guess I was just in the back side of it. Yeah, it looks better from the front. Well, there's your problem right there. You're looking at the back end of the place. Alright, here we go. So I haven't been in yet, but it doesn't look that bad right off the bat. The front looks pretty clean. It's got some restaurants here on the side, but right across the street there's a mall, like a big mall, So, and with a 7-Eleven right down there on the corner. So, yeah, I'm getting ready to head in. But yeah, this is kind of what their area looks like here. Thank goodness, because I was looking at that backside of looking at the backside of the building. I'm like, ah, great, Roach Motel. But no, it looks pretty cool. So maybe I'll explore around a little after I get unloaded and stuff. But first things first, I got to go check in. Hello. I got. And there's home sweet home. The N4 camera store. They sell DJI stuff here. So, yeah. So I found a DJI shop, and I really shouldn't have because they have the accessories I wanted. They have the small charging, here's the one that it basically came with. This is the smaller one that actually puts it low profile because they have a small little kickstand, a little tripod it's very small. Also, they had the chest mount. This one's very hard to find, and they had a backpack where I can hook it to my backpack now and ride. But yeah, I decided since I'm not going to see it very often, I went ahead and got them all. So that was it was 400, so which comes out to about $100. But I got all the accessories, and it's a beautiful shop. This gentleman right here helped me.
Thank you very much.
Yes, no problem. But this is a real DJI camera shop here. Look, they got a great lineup of everything. Oh, and they got the little waterproof thing too, if you ever wanted. They have make one of these for DJI. So, yeah, they got the 360 Go, and yeah, it's an awesome. I really shouldn't have found this, but I had to. I was like, I might not see this again. So, guys, I got new accessories to go along with it. This guy was awesome. He gave me a discount on top of it, and yeah. All right, guys. See you later. So I really wish I didn't find that shop, guys. But I did, and there's no point in crying over spilt milk. I made up a decision. If I'm going to be recording the rest of my life, not the rest of my life, we're not going that far. But if I'm going to shoot for a year, this I consider an investment. This is camera gear that's a little bit harder to find. I wasn't able to find it in any of the other shops, and he just happened to have everything. He even had the chest mount, which was through a different company. It straps to the backpack. So I'll go back and I'll open up all my goodies. But yeah, it was 400 ringgits, and he gave me a discount on all of them. And so 400 ringgit, that comes out to $100 basically. And I know a lot of you guys are like, hobos aren't supposed to spend that much money. You're right. You're right. We're not supposed to spend that much money, but it's an investment. So, all right, guys, we're going home. Hey, good evening. We got back. I'm back to my lovely little hotel room here. It is 8:34 right now. I got to get off and start editing so I can throw this up and try and get to bed before midnight. But yeah, I was just planning on running across the street and filming the mall because it looked really big from the outside. And on the inside, it really was big. And so when I was inside, I'm not a shopper. I'll window shop a little. And I said, yeah, I do have a weakness for usually military surplus stores, thrift stores, and I like a good yard sale once in a while. Yeah, I don't mind browsing the camping stores, actually. But really, I'm not a big mall guy. I just went in to have some more footage. But then I was like, hey, I should see if they got a DJI shop. I'll just, because I know there's accessories that are a little hard to come by. At least they have been for me up to this point. And it just happened to be that when I walked in out of that store, I was expecting the normal, oh no, sorry, we don't. We only carry the developers pack, the combo pack, the one that I bought. So I was expecting that to be the one, and at first it was. He's like, "Oh no, we don't have many accessories," but then he just says like, "There's one, there's one, there's one." I'm like, "Oh, hey, you got all of them. Basically, you have all." The only thing he didn't have was this like a cross chest mount, like center chest mount, but he ended up having this, which is a belt strap mount. Anybody that knows about the DJI Pocket Osmo and looked up accessories, these are all the ones I got. So I wanted to run over the numbers with you. That way you guys can kind of know. And I'll do some comparisons real quick. And that's so I kind of got them all out. So, okay, first off, he had this part, which is a hard part to find. Okay? The DJI straps right into that, right? And the buttons are out here in the front, stuff like this. So it's actually the screen's facing this way. And this is for if you have a magnet, which I do believe that's a magnet. But regardless, this is actually mostly just to have for a backpack strap, you know, or like to turn the DJI into like a action camera, right? So like a bike mount. You need this. You know, you need this to hold the DJI. Most spots don't have it. He, for some reason, had it. Most people order these off like, I think, like Amazon and stuff like that. Well, that's useless without this, which the DJI, this is not like necessarily made for DJI because this can actually, this part goes in, locks in. Now you can take this part out right here and put the DJI in, which is you basically open this back part and you put this, hang on a second, let me do it real quick. And now it opens up. If I'm wearing a backpack, I can strap it in. And now it's an action camera. I can just walk around without holding it like this. So you can just walk around, or I can ride my bicycle. So it mounts up like that. See, in this part is the strap onto the bicycle. And how much did I get this for? Okay. Let's go ahead and go over the numbers for that. This was the last one. This one was the last one. It was selling for 60, so he let me have it for 50, right? And the actual, this part right here was 199 ringgit. So 199 ringgit is $50. So remember, it's a quarter of whatever. So like 4 ringgit is $1. So yeah, so it's $50. So the whole amount for this was 199. So it was like both of these together was $249. But they also had a different part that I wanted to get. This is for the bottom base for the actual, let's see if I can hold it up. It goes in, it's a charging port, right? So you plug in to the back right here. This is to replace this. There's a size difference. See the two size differences? Not just that, this one's rounded on the bottom. This one is completely flat. So this can actually balance on a flat surface a lot better. And you're basically reducing just the size of the DJI Osmo. So you're making it smaller, but that goes along with this. So you screw this into the base. What is this? It's a very miniature tripod. Very small tripod. So yeah, it's meant to cinch down. So these two parts together, and what I mean by cinch down is like tighten down with a Allen key so it doesn't, you know, come off. And that is to replace this and this. This is the actual tripod it comes with, and you need this on to put this on. So the reduction in size is comparable. So you're taking this size and you're replacing it with this size. So same thing. I mean, yeah, this has a larger base, and it's going to be a lot safer to use this. But on normal flat surfaces and stuff, where you want this just to be in your pocket, you know, and you're carrying it around, this is like an everyday, you know, an EDC, an everyday carry. So yeah, so this is my EDC. This is for, I don't know, like if unstable ground, like out in the wilderness, put this down a lot better. Then this wouldn't be too effective on a dirt ground. So anyway, so how much did he charge me for this? This part was actually more expensive. This was actually 90, so it's two different pieces. And this part was 99. He let me have it for 90. That's the charging port, the part that's to replace that with this. That's 99. So that's $25 basically, give or take. He let me have it for 90. And then this was 66, which he let me have it for. He let me have it for 60. So he gave me a discount on all items. Grand total for everything, $399. So if we round it, let's just say to 400. That's only one ringgit difference. Then, like I said, every 4 is $1, so it cost me $100 for basically all the accessories that I could get. Shoulder mount, strap, and all that stuff. Also, now I can actually put it on a bicycle because this is the same type of adapter right here as on the ones that you put on your handlebars. So this part actually can go on the bicycle. And yeah, and this. So, like I said, guys, the DJI was definitely one of the biggest purchases I made. And if you watch my videos when I was looking for it and stuff like that, it was something I was very, very much going over. But, you know, I had to either get a new phone for the camera or get the DJI. And after doing my homework, the DJI came out with flying colors because everybody on it, YouTube, it was hard to find anybody that said DJI sucked. You know what I'm saying? So I got it. I was, gave me a few ulcers to buy it, $600, a little over, like more like 650 or something like that. I'd have to watch the video again to remember because I bought the insurance. But it ended up being a game changer for me. It really was. It's changed. It's one of those purchases that I don't regret at all. You know what I'm saying? It is definitely one of the best things I bought. Shooting everything in 4K and all this stuff. Where my channel could have just been a fly-by-night channel and I could have just gave it up. Having the extra, filming more professionally and all that stuff, it's given me a reason to continue on, actually filming and filming and filming. So I never regret that. So buying accessories for it is, it's an investment because I don't plan on, like I said, I'm not planning on stopping filming, and my day-to-day type things for a little while, I mean, I'm gonna shoot for a year. We're gonna go for 6 months first, celebrate, and then continue on. So these are all investments on something I can always look at it as, well, eventually my channel might get monetized or whatever like that. So it could just be considered a business investment too. But when it gets down to it, it's still just toys. It really is. It's just toys. But so is a phone. Honestly, well, I don't know. A phone is a little more than a phone. It would be more like classified as a tool because I don't want to really say a phone is a toy, but you can still survive without a phone. So, life's a lot harder, and I wouldn't recommend anybody ever trying to survive without a phone. I only knew one person that did that, a guy named Daniel back in Tennessee. He went he went pious, like super pious. And one of his things was just not that. He wanted to also try and get away from the money system. I'm like, you can't do that. And he found religious reasons why we shouldn't, be involved in the money system and stuff like that. And I was just like, you're just causing too much of a hardship. And I think not having a phone is causing yourself too much of a hardship. Why make your life miserable when you can make it great? That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to make my life great. And I need self-control, obviously, but yeah, why not enjoy life day by day, every day if you can, because those miserable days are gonna be there. They're unavoidable. So why turn your days that you have the ability to make great? Why turn those terrible too by forcing yourself to not do something But we all need some type of restraints. Mine's drinking and drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. I put those restraints on myself a long time ago, and I'm glad I did because I was self-destructing myself. But I won't ever go back to that because I know I can't control that aspect of my life, and I don't want to. But I don't care about people that love to have a beer. I understand fully why you would love to have a beer. I love drinking. I really did. And actually, I still would, but I prefer not to now. But that's neither here nor there, guys. I went over the numbers with you. I'm going to go ahead and hop off. I know some of you guys are probably like, "Yeah, that was boring," but some of you guys probably want to keep up a little with my expenditures, and I have been telling you guys all along what I've been spending, so why end now? Because that it's beneficial to some of you guys. So that's not an expenditure I usually do. The next one's going to be a phone, though. It really is. And that's going to be a huge purchase because I want one with a good processor because these videos and using this as my editing tool and all that is maxing out my processor. So I need a gaming quality, a gaming level type of phone. And that's why I was thinking about the Apple 16, even this Apple 16e. It's got 3 cores instead of 4 cores, with a 4 core actually on the Apple 16. It's missing 1 core, but the processor is still the same type of newest processor. So, yeah, that's going to be a big expenditure, but also it's going to be the investment. My phone and my camera together, and that's going to be like my working studio. You know what I'm saying? Just those 2 simple things. And yeah, guys. Okay, that's it. So day 2 in Malaysia is over. It started off extremely beautiful. I loved the road. There was a side road, and it was so beautiful. You saw it, but then it turned too ugly, and like Baal, the clouds caught up to me and just decided to dump on me. Sorry, guys. Sorry about the Baal reference. It's a storm deity of it's an old Utaritic storm deity. There's El and Baal, and Baal was a storm god and stuff. You hear references to it in the Bible because that was the other competing religion around that time. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that's it, guys. I'm gonna turn this off, and yeah. Good night, y'all. Tomorrow we'll start day 3.